All right, what's going on, everyone? Excuse me. Frog in my throat. Rough way to start off a live stream. Anyways, I have to do some therapy, even though my throat is not optimal. But a 5-0 can't happen. It just cannot happen in the manner in which we have, I think, grown into the summer and the summer signings. And I can kind of excuse away some of what Farke was thinking, but at the same time, there's some things that are serious red flags that make me think that the gaffer is going to be changed, and it won't be, it'll be his undoing and not really anything that we do, unfortunately, unless we were to do something drastic before the international break, which could happen if a similar result happens against Newcastle. But look, I've been a Leeds United fan for years, for almost a decade now. I have seen 5-0s. I've seen 7-0s. The difference between when Bielsa was getting walloped or Marsh, to be fair, I looked it up. He didn't get walloped. He had a 5-2 at Brentford. That was his heaviest defeat. Now, he deserved to be sacked, but he never had a 5-0. He never set his team up like that. Go ahead and take Pelters. Now, he deserved to get fired, whatever. It's a 5-0 cannot happen, and it could have been 6, right? It could have been 7. The first 25, 30 minutes, we were hanging on for dear life, but honestly, on the balance of play, Arsenal fully deserved their goal. So I absolutely am questioning Farke more than I used to. Now, let's start off a week ago on Monday. Ampadu is announced with an injury and won't be available until after the international break. And it's a little bit worrying, quite honestly, because it's an MCL. And yeah, I mean, I would imagine if it was a torn MCL or ACL, they would have just put him under the knife. There must be a strain of some sort in there, or a partial tear, which he can still operate on. So thank God we avoided that. But you can start to see, again, when you reflect on Bielsa, when we went up and we had a great season, Calvin Phillips was fit. The second season, he was not fit. And he had he was England's player of the year. Once Calvin left, the drop-off was catastrophic. I remember if Calvin was out for games, I remember we're like, we're not going to compete. And now I feel the same way about Ampadu. The Premier League quality drop-off is so big if you don't have one of your key pieces. Now, Farke knew this. His option was to probably close up shop when one of your captain is out. He decided to put Gruev in, and the drop-off is Stark. Ampadu knits everything together. He's vital. So the other option he could have done, hindsight being right 2020, he was very brazen in the fact that he thought his system would work. It didn't. So I'm going to put this in. Yeah, Farke was very brave in the fact that he thought his system would work, and it didn't. And so the other option would have been to probably put in Bajol, gone to a back 3 with Strauch, and close up shop, and he didn't do that. He continued to play, I think, a possessional-based system. People want to say out from the back. I don't necessarily want to say it was out from the back. That's lowest common denominator thinking. Wasn't necessarily out from the back. Perry was going long quite a bit. But if you're going long, you got to have the players that are going to keep the ball, and the big physical players were not on the pitch. So that was super disappointing. The spine was a problem, starting with Perry. Perry needed to. He looked very unsure. He wasn't good with the ball with his feet. He just looked like a deer in headlights, and that was a big problem. I think you saw some of the center backs yelling at him to put the ball into play, and he went long quite a bit. So then the base of the spine, that left everybody kind of unsure of what was happening. And then you put in Ilya Gruev. He's not being able to knit everything together in a way. And then you don't have Perot. Perot's in the game, but he's not being able to win those second balls because that's not who he is. Not really good in the air. Have you ever seen Perot on a header? Not many times, right? So he got it wrong, and we paid the price. I can excuse away the thinking in a way, but you can't excuse away a 5-0, which should have been a 6-0 and could have been a 7-0. I mean, I'm done as a Leeds fan being embarrassed. I don't want to be embarrassed anymore. I could lose all day long to the top 6. And 3 of those goals I could probably excuse away. There's 2 goals that are inexcusable. And but I don't want to. We didn't get promoted to be embarrassed. This was a really, really big red flag for me for Farke. You don't embarrass my club like that. That cannot happen, and I think that was a huge red flag. I'm trying to hack, and the 49ers, this isn't Ramazani. They will act. They will act quickly, and I think they will act after the Newcastle game is not going the way. If we get walloped, if we get like curb stomped and just the way we were punished, then I expect the 49ers to make a move after the Newcastle game. I don't think I think Farke will adapt. I think he will adapt in the sense he's not Thomas Frank. He's not going to set up a new system. He's going to continue to go with a 4-3-3, but he'll add some wrinkles or some safety nets in there. He'll probably put Longstaff in. He'll probably be more defensive out of possession. He's probably going to go with Nimpaka up top to start. And that's all fine. But again, and now this brings me to my second point that's really irritating me today, and I have to kind of do this for therapy from you guys. Largi Ramazani, I get it. He doesn't track back. Maybe you don't want Largi Ramazani in the squad, but you have to be able to score goals, and you are getting rid of one of the most creative outlets in the team. Let's reflect back on this neutral fan who wrote me on my channel. This was in May, right? July. No, this was maybe into June. Leeds need to score 40 team goals to stay up. This team isn't going to keep that many clean sheets. We had one, so let's just be there. Expect about 2 clean sheets, which is what Leicester and Ipswich managed. If they're not scoring 1.25 goals per game, then they're not going to have too many draws to stay up. Right now, they don't have the goal scoring to reach that goal. When he said this, I was kind of shocked. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Nanto, Pro, like we scored 100 goals. What are you talking about? Like we have a Mateo Joseph, a young baller that could, no, you don't have enough goals. It's like, and now I'm seeing that. Get a goalkeeper. The 49ers money balls will crunch numbers. And then they need to figure out, the board, how to put 45 goals on their budget. That gives them a reasonable chance of staying up. If Leeds need 15 goals out of the striker position, pay what you have to pay. A value striker, which is what we've been going for, that scores 8 goals is no help to you. I understand what Farke was doing. I get it. I get that he wanted to, like, I think his thing was, I'll go 0-0 into halftime. I'll hope to get like maybe a goal or keep it 0-0. And then I'll put on same formula as last week. I'll put on Aronson and then I'll put on Harrison and they'll run around and we'll press from the front and we'll defend from the front. I mean, it was naivete out the you know what. And again, Bielsa got pummeled. Bielsa's squad was more threadbare than this squad. This squad has been backed by the board. I mean, we spent $100 million. I would say that the championship side was better. I mean, Bielsa drilled his players. He turned water into wine. We can all have more affection for that Bielsa side. But when he got hammered 7-0, he was putting on Adam Forshaw, Helder Costa, Tyler Roberts. Like, you know what I mean? Daniel Farke has been backed a little bit more. A little bit more because sometimes some of these players aren't completely proven. But you can't lose 5-0. You can't do it. It's inexcusable. And if I'm the board, I call Ramazani and I say, yeah, we're not going to loan you. We're not going to loan you. We're going to put you on hold for a second. If that creates friction with him, fine. I don't care. He's a hard player to get back, a creative winger. We have Nanto, who isn't, since his, he's kind of playing with the governor on him. Nanto is not the Nanto that was unveiled, I think, as a 19-year-old 4 years ago. He's a good technical player, but he like I said, he runs around a little bit he's afraid to kind of really attack the defense the way he used to. And I don't know how you unlock that right now. But Dan James is Dan James. He's good. He'll get behind, He's going to age in terms of his speed, but I just am I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. I'm disappointed in this result. It should not have happened. You cannot get 5-0. Let's go through a little bit of the goals. The first goal, I really don't have a problem with. They're a very good set piece team. If you look at the ball, it was contested. It came off the Arsenal player's back head. The second goal was a huge problem. It was a turnover in midfield. After Gruev won the ball back, he was passed to nobody. And then within probably 2 or 3 seconds, the ball was in the back of the net. You basically put Perry one-on-one with Saka, and you play stupid games, you get stupid results. This third goal after halftime was really, that's one of the goals where I can live with. I tip my cap to them. They had a beautiful passage of play. They put in Goalkeeper, and he just had his tail up. They dragged the center back out. They dragged Pascal out of his position. It was a well-taken goal. Perry should have done better, but I don't know. Based on the passage of play, that's a really good goal. Team goal by them. What was the fourth? The fourth goal was another set piece goal. Again, it was kind of chaos. Congratulations. I think they had 2 corners they scored from both of them. They're very good on corners. We need to do better at defending corners, but I can't get super pissed at that goal. And then the final goal was kind of just sloppy by Stack to win that, to give a free kick. So, but before that, we had Perry making errors. I mean, he had a howler. Goalkeeper should have put that one away. So the first 35 minutes where it was 0-0 was actually more damning than the rest of the game, because we just were chasing shadows. And the loss is at the feet of the manager, and I'm more worried for this season than I was. And you could say, oh, we expected to get a different result against Newcastle. We'll see. I mean, he is on a short leash, Daniel Farke. So that's it. That's all I got. I mean, again, I mean, we could go over it. We could go over all the gaffers. A 5-0 is inexcusable. Bielsa did it. Bielsa did it with a thin squad. Marsh never did it. Grazia, I don't think lost like that. Allardyce didn't lose like that. You cannot lose 5-0 with what you've got. You can't do it. If I'm the board, I'm on the phone with my short list talking to them right now. If I'm Patrick Bamford, I'm going, oh boy, cracking my knuckles. He's leaving. Maybe I can sneak back into the squad. I mean, you could say the same with Meslier, but I doubt he gets in. I would really consider starting Darlow. I mean, that, again, Perry's inability to handle decisions with the ball at his feet was a problem. So I would seriously consider Darlow. And quite honestly, once if Ampadu is healthy, I'm like this close to thinking Ampadu should drop back into center back, and you have that connection, that diamond there or triangle there with them, because it was so good last year with Rodon, Ampadu, and Darlow. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's game by game. If I am the ownership, Farke is game by game. Let me see if there's any comments. If you guys want to gen anything. Who Jazz says, I remember this last season when Farke was struggling weekday games, and I predicted another loss that week. Yeah, he's got like little like nuances in terms of what he does and what he yeah. Gaffer's gonna go out soon. All right, that's it. That's my time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me vent, and I will see you again soon.